Hello everyone, welcome to the Officers IAS, and today we'll be doing the chapter number 4 of the Geography's NCERT India Physical Environment. Right, so the chapter number 4 is climate. So when we are reading about climate, we should first and foremost know about the difference between climate and the weather change. Climate and the weather. सो आपने कई बार न्यूज़ में पढ़ा होगा इनफैक्ट कि यूपीएससी के प्रीलिम्स के सिलेबस में भी या फिर मेंस के सिलेबस में भी क्लाइमेट चेंज मेंशन है। जब हम लोग बात करते हैं पेरिस अकॉर्ड की या फिर बाकी ट्रीटीज़ की, सो वी आर ऑलवेज सेइंग इट एज क्लाइमेट चेंज, नॉट वेदर चेंज। व्हाई इज दैट? सो व्हेन वी आर सेइंग वेदर मीन्स द चेंज इन एटमॉस्फेरिक कंडीशंस लाइक टेम्परेचर, pressure on day-to-day basis. राइट हम लोग यही तो कहते हैं कि यार आज वेदर बहुत अच्छा है. सो दैट इज़ ऑन डे टू डे बेसिस. वाइल क्लाइमेट इज़ विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, 15, 20, 30, 100 years, right? So we tend to take out the mean change in the atmospheric conditions like temperature and pressure of a given region, right? Now there are few factors which affects the climate. What are those? The number one is latitude. For instance, if you're residing in Himachal Pradesh, and if you're residing in, let's say, Madhya Pradesh, you will feel a different climate, right? That's why most of the people goes to Himachal Pradesh, because there is like the summers are really pleasant in Himachal Pradesh. So latitude affects, right? Latitude affects the climate of a given region, right? अगर हम पूरे इंडिया की बात करें, मैंने पहले भी आपको बताया था कि लेट्स से नॉर्थ and south comes in the tropical region, while the north comes in the subtropical region, right? The second is altitude. Right, you'll feel, let's say, at the top of the Mount Everest with respect to the let's say Kerala or the plain areas, right? So altitude affects the climate of a place, right? The third is Himalayas. Now the Himalayas block the cold winds coming from the the Central Asia. At the same time, it retains the monsoon, right? It doesn't let the monsoon just wander off. If there were no Himalayas, it would simply cross India. So it retains the monsoon here. And we all know ki how the retrieval of the monsoon starts. That means कि जब monsoon पीछे जाता है, so everything, both the Bay of Bengal branch and the Arabian Sea branch gets collected at the base of the Himalayas, or you can say Punjab Haryana region, and that's how the retrieval of the monsoon starts. If there was no Himalayas, we would have less and less monsoon and rainfall, right? You can say reserves the monsoon, right? Fourth is relief. We all know, let's say, this is the Western Ghats, right? So this will be the windward side and this will be the leeward side. So windward side, since the air containing the water, it rises up, it pushes up, and it condenses, and sheds it water on the windward side. That's why the leeward side doesn't get much water. And there was one question as well, that this Mumbai and Pune, despite being on the same latitudes, right? Despite being on the same latitudes, receive different amount of rainfall, right? It's just because of this concept called as windward and leeward, right? The fifth is distance from the sea, which is called as continentality or the moderating influence of the sea. मॉडरेटिंग इन्फ्लुएंस मतलब कि वो जो वहाँ का टेम्परेचर है उसको मॉडरेट कर देता है. दैट्स वाई यू विल वांट टू गो टू, इन लेट्स से इन समर्स, यू विल वांट टू गो टू गोवा और केरला, राइट, और तमिलनाडु, कोस्टल रीजन्स. वाई? बिकॉज देर इज़ एन मॉडरेटिंग इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द सी. इट्स जस्ट लाइक हम लोग घर में गर्मियों में छिड़काव करते हैं, राइट? छिड़काव करते हैं. सो इफ समबडी इज लिविंग क्लोज टू द वाटर बॉडी, the temperatures are relatively pleasant, right? That's why we don't say that the temperature reduces from north to south. We don't say that. Rather, we say that temperature increases from the coast to the interior parts of India. बात सेम ही कह रहे हैं लगभग, लेकिन here we are talking about with respect to the sea. So temperature increases from coast to interior, right? The sixth is land and water distribution. Now let's say in your city, this is your lovely city, and these are two cities, right? Here, let's say only this much is land and the rest of it is water, right? Whereas here, this much is land and only this much is water, right? And we all know that land heats up faster. Heats up faster and cools down faster than the sea or water, right? तो ये एरिया जल्दी और बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म हो जाएगा, ये वाली सिटी भी जल्दी और बहुत ज़्यादा. यहाँ पे जो टेम्परेचर्स होंगे वो हाई टेम्परेचर होगा, right? Whereas यहाँ पे temperatures will be low, right? That's why as a bureaucrat we can say that there should be an equal, in urban management, there should be an adequate amount of water bodies inside the city. If there are no natural lakes, artificial lakes should be created as part of the NBS, which is called as nature-based solutions, which will also reduce the amount of air conditioning required, right? Second category we can like factors affecting the climate change. उसके अंदर हम क्या डाल सकते हैं? Air pressure and wind. यहाँ पे जेट स्ट्रीम्स play a significant role. Now there are two types of jet streams, westerly jet stream and the easterly jet stream. Westerly jet stream flows from west to east in the winter, while the easterly jet streams flows from east to west in the summers. This westerly jet stream is responsible for bringing the waters of the western cyclonic disturbances happening in the Mediterranean Sea right? And that's why we also have a meager amount of rainfall. ज़्यादा नहीं होती, कम होती. Meager मतलब कम. Meager rainfall in the winter. यूजुअली जेट स्ट्रीम कहाँ से कहाँ तक वो करती हैं आपका 8 से 12 या फिर बुक में जो दे रखा है दैट इज़ 9 to 13 किलोमीटर्स. इट कीप्स ऑन शिफ्टिंग राइट. अगर हम समर्स में बात करें तो जो जेट स्ट्रीम होती है दैट कम्स दैट मूव्स अप, और विंटर्स में बात करें तो इट कम्स डाउन राइट. इफ़ यू फर्दर टॉक अबाउट सो जेट स्ट्रीम की जो स्ट्रेंथ होती है, जेट स्ट्रीम्स स्ट्रेंथ मतलब कितनी तगड़ी या पावरफुल है, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द हाउ स्ट्रॉन्ग देर इज अ कॉन्ट्रास्ट बिटवीन द टू एयर मासेस. मतलब कि चलिए इसके बारे में भी छोड़ दीजिए. तो जेट स्ट्रीम की स्ट्रेंथ आप सोचिए कि दो एयर मासेस हैं राइट. देयर ऊपर जाएंगे, आइदर दे कन्वर्ज और डाइवर्ज डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द लैटिट्यूड्स right. For instance, at 60 degrees they will tend to diverge right, and at 30 degrees it will tend to converge right. So it depends upon the contrasting characters. That's why there are no jet streams at the equator region, that is 10 degree north to south, because the two air masses, that is the southeast trade winds and the northeast trade winds, doesn't have much contrast, so there are no jet streams there right. So it depends upon the contrasting character. And if this contrasting character reduces, these jet streams tend to meander like this around the globe right. So what it will do, जैसे कि one of the type of jet stream is also called as polar jet stream. That is it is at the 60 degree north and south mark. That is, there are in total two polar jet streams. So what polar jet streams does is it brings the coldness of the polar region to the northern part of the USA. Now the northern part of the USA shouldn't be as much cold, but due to the meandering of the polar jet stream, it brings the coldness of the polar region to the Siberia or the North American region right. यहाँ तक हो गया. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. नाउ एज आई मैंशनड कि समर्स में ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम और विंटर्स में वेस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम राइट. अब क्या होता है कि मैंने आपको भी बताया था वेस्टर्न साइक्लोनिक डिस्टर्बेंसेस. डू वी हैव सम इंडिकेटर ऑफ इट? इंडिकेटर ये है कि जब रात का टेम्परेचर बढ़ने लग जाए विंटर्स के अंदर, तो इट इंडिकेट्स कि हाँ भाई वेस्टर्न साइक्लोनिक डिस्टर्बेंसेस आने वाले हैं राइट भाई. ठीक. Now let's look at the important one of the important topics, that is the monsoon. Why monsoon is important? Because our agriculture depends on it. Agriculture in turn supports a lot of population, so plus government is always focused on agriculture, so it becomes important, right? So nature, right? Now during अप्रैल एंड मई, दैट इज अभी का जो समय चल रहा है, राइट? इस समय क्या यहाँ पे क्या होते हैं, टेम्परेचर बढ़ते हैं, प्रेशर कीप्स ऑन रिड्यूसिंग, राइट? एंड वी ऑल नो दैट द wind flows from high pressure to low pressure. So the monsoon bearing winds will start coming here, and whenever the sun reaches at the tropic of Cancer, then the monsoon starts, right? This is the nature that it starts. It starts from the months of April and May, right? Further, if we talk about, there is one term called as break of monsoon. इसका मतलब ये होता है, if during the southwest monsoon, not the northeast, that is June to September, there is no rain for 1 or 2 weeks, then it is called as the break in the monsoon, right? Now let's look at some of the patterns or the rainfall distribution. So rainfall in India reduces from west to east, and it reduces from southeast to northwest and north. यानी कि नीचे से जब हम थोड़ा ऊपर जाते हैं, टेढ़ा जाते हैं नॉर्थ वेस्ट की साइड में, तो रेनफॉल रिड्यूसेस, while rainfall also reduces from the west to east direction, right? Now there is one topic which is related to that, why in winters that there is temperature below freezing point in some states like Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, right? Why is that? तो उसके रीजन्स क्या क्या है भाई? यहाँ पे कोई कॉन्टिनेंटलिटी इफेक्ट नहीं है, मीन्स इट इज़ नॉट क्लोजर टू द सी. दिल्ली तो कितना ही लैंडलॉक्ड है, राइट? तो देर इज़ नो कॉन्टिनेंटलिटी इफेक्ट. फर्दर देर इज़ द स्नोफॉल which happens nearby it, since these states are very closer to the Himalayas, right? The third is the cold winds from Caspian Sea and Turkmenistan. ठीक है भाई? Now in the winter in the winter season, it is associated with the northeast monsoon or the retrieval, and these are the following states which get rainfall during the retrieval of the monsoon, that is the northeast monsoon, which are Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, right? Plus Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, West UP, Assam plus Arunachal Pradesh plus the northern peninsular India. ये आपको याद रखने हैं, याद कर रखने हैं, एक बार पढ़ लोगे तो हो जाएगा. ठीक है भाई. नाउ लेट्स लुक एट द समर्स. समर के बारे में बता ही दिया था कि टेम्परेचर आपको एक इम्पॉर्टेंट की टेम्परेचर डज नॉट रिड्यूसेस फ्रॉम नॉर्थ टू साउथ, रादर इट इंक्रीजेस फ्रॉम द कोस्ट टू interior, right? Now in summers there are often dust storms which brings us temporary respite from the heat. Right? Now there is also key term which is called as ITCZ, which is called as intertropical convergence zone. Right? Now this ITCZ also shifts depending upon the apparent movement of the sun. Right? Now in the summers, it moves up to 20 degree to 25 degree north, and in winters about 20 to 25 degrees south. Right? Now there are certain local winds which you should remember. The first one is mango showers. The first one is mango showers, which happens in the states of Karnataka and Kerala. Right? It happens after the summers, but before the monsoon. Right? Second is nor'westers, which is related to destruction. Right? It happens in two states, Assam, West Bengal. West Bengal it is called as Kal Baisakhi. And in Assam, it happens in two states, not two states, it is called as Bordoli. And I'm sorry, states. I was saying states, but never mind. Bordoli and Chehra. Right? Third is blossom shower, which happens in the state of Kerala, and this is good for coffee plantation. Right? And the fourth we all know is Lu, hot winds. Right? Now, this southwest monsoon, it has two branches. Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal branch. Right? अरेबियन सी ब्रांच से कौन कौन से रीजन्स अफेक्टेड होते हैं? वेस्टर्न घाट्स, गोवा, महाराष्ट्र, right? Even Kerala and Karnataka also gets some rain, but not Tamil Nadu, right? केरला और कर्नाटका को मिलती है दोनों में, नॉर्थ वेस्ट, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी और साउथ वेस्ट में भी, राइट? व्हेन वी टॉकिंग अबाउट बे ऑफ बंगाल ब्रांच, सो नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया प्लस द गंगा प्लेन, right? Now these two branches merges in the Punjab and Haryana region. Further, this southwest monsoon accounts for India's 3/4 of the total rain. That's why it is more important. The kharif crops are more important. That's why Indian agriculture is dependent more upon monsoon, and any variations in the monsoon because of the climate change will have an impact on the agriculture, right? Now this southwest monsoon also reduces from how far it is from, that is Kolkata will have more than Patna, then Allahabad, then Delhi, right? नॉर्थ ईस्ट रिट्रीटिंग मानसून आपको बता ही दिया, तमिलनाडु प्लस ईस्ट कोस्ट. देर इज वन टर्म कॉल्ड एज अक्टूबर हीट. इट हैपन्स इन द मंथ ऑफ अक्टूबर. what are its conditions? Because in October there are clear skies, high temperature क्योंकि समर्स की वजह से, ठीक है, प्लस द लैंड इज स्टिल मॉइस्ट due to the southwest monsoon, right? Now this high temperature plus this the moisture generates what is called as October heat. It is very humid and the people will be sweating a lot, right? Now let's look at the traditional Indian system of seasons. So there are 6 seasons of 2 months each, right? Start from here: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? Now these, अब आपको इंडियन मंथ याद रखने के लिए एक छोटा सा, बस अगर आप ये कोड याद रख लें तो आपको हो जाएगा, विच इज़ MFCV जा सब AKMP, right? So it corresponds to Magh and Falgun, Chaitra and Vaishakh, right? Jesht and Ashadh, right? Shravan and Bhadra, right? Ashwin and Kartik, right? And Mrigshira and Pausa. फर्दर अब ये सीजन्स कौन कौन से होंगे? वसंत, ग्रीष्म, वर्षा, शिशिर, वसंत, ग्रीष्म, वर्षा, शारदा and Hemant. Shishir, Vasant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharda and Hemant. And Indian calendar starts from the month of March, which is called as Chaitra, right? It comes under the Vasant Ritu, right? If we talk about the distribution of rainfall, so the eastern Rajasthan has more rainfall than the western Rajasthan, right? Jammu and Kashmir has more than Ladakh, right? Plus the western Ghats, plus western coasts, plus Himalayas has more than the southern Gujarat, right? फिर आगे आप करते जाओ, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, right? West UP, they have more than the Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka or the Malabar, right? No, sorry, not Malabar. Malabar में तो होता है Maharashtra. So Delhi, Punjab and Haryana receives more rainfall than the Maharashtra, right? And southern Gujarat as well. If we talk about rainfall variation, which means how much the rainfall varies over in a particular year, it is denoted by coefficient of variation, and it formula is standard deviation upon mean into 100. In India, its value ranges from 25 to 50%. जितना कम होगा that means it varies less. तो less than 25% variation किस किस में है भाई? Western Ghats, Jammu and Kashmir, Himalayas. If you talk about the 50% variation, that is with respect to the Western Rajasthan plus the North Jammu and Kashmir, which means कि यहाँ पे रेनफॉल ज़्यादा वेरी होगी. एक साल कम हो गया, हो सकता है अगले साल ज़्यादा हो जाए. एंड वी ऑल नो कि वेस्टर्न राजस्थान रिसीव्स लेस रेनफॉल देन दी ईस्टर्न राजस्थान, राइट. नाउ देयर आर कोपेंस के क्लासिफिकेशन. कोपेंस ने इंडिया को 8 भागों में 8 क्लाइमेट क्लासिफिकेशंस किए. आपको नाम याद रखने हैं, उसके वो लेटर्स याद भले ही ना रखें, लेकिन नाम मतलब उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन और एक स्टेट का नाम, ठीक है. तो अगर हम बात करें ह्यूमिड विंटर विद शॉर्ट समर्स, तो कौन सी स्टेट होगी? अरुणाचल प्रदेश, राइट. एरिड रीजन की अगर मैं बात करूं तो कौन सी होगी भाई? एरिड रीजन मतलब एक्सट्रीम उसमें आ गए. एरिड रीजन की बात अगर मैं करूं तो वेस्टर्न राजस्थान. वाई आई एम स्पेसिफिकली मेंशनिंग वेस्टर्न राजस्थान? बिकॉज ईस्टर्न राजस्थान डज रिसीव सम अमाउंट ऑफ रेनफॉल, राइट. नाउ द सेमी एरिड टाइप, Gujarat and some parts of Rajasthan. The next one is monsoon with dry winter. It is the whole northeast except Arunachal Pradesh, plus even the northern plain. Then we all know about polar J&K, Himachal Pradesh, or the Himalayan region, right, and Uttarakhand, right. So that's it with this video. पसंद आई हो तो लाइक करें, शेयर करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, and keep learning.